couple weeks ago, I stayed at the Hyatt Andaz on Maui, and it was an awesome hotel stay, but it cost me 40,000 points. Why did it cost me 40,000 points? If I booked that on another day, it might have cost me 35,000 points. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how Hyatt determines their points price for their hotels, as well as some strategies on how you can maximize your World of Hyatt points. So let's get into it. So the first thing you should know is that all Hyatt hotels fall into a specific category. There's categories 1 through 8. We can pull up this chart on Hyatt's website, which I'll link down in the description. And this clearly defines categories 1 through 8 in 8 different bands. Category 1 will cost this amount of points and category 8 will cost this amount of points. There's 3 different numbers because there's off-peak, standard, and peak dates. Off-peak dates might be low travel seasons, where standard might be right in the middle, where high peak season might be like summer or like heavy travel times. And as you probably gathered, off-peak is cheaper, there's standard, and peak would be the highest. The thing that a lot of miles and points people like about Hyatt is that it's a fixed award chart. So that means hotels will fall within these bands. They'll never cost more points than what's defined on this chart. So if a hotel is $1,000, $2,000, what if the hotel was $10,000? And if it's a category 7, it'll always cost this amount of points within the category 7 band. It won't cost any more points than what's defined on this fixed award chart. So that's why we liked Hyatt, because it is a fixed award chart. Other hotel brands like IHG, Hilton, and Marriott all have dynamic pricing, which means that the points can fluctuate based on the cash price, based on the demand of the hotel, and a variety of different reasons. And so it's hard to predict how many points it'll cost to stay at a Hilton, Marriott, or an IHG hotel, because it can fluctuate so much. Whereas Hyatt, it's very predictable because it's all based off of this chart and which category the hotel falls into. So speaking of hotel categories, how you can determine what category your Hyatt hotel will fall into would be you can click on these category numbers on this page. It'll take you to a listing of all the Hyatt hotels where you can sort it based off of categories. As you can see here, these are all the hotels that are listed under category 7. So that means it's going to cost either 25, 30, or 35,000 points a night in a category 7 hotel. Never ever going to cost any more than 35,000 points, and it's never going to cost any less than 25,000 points to stay at any of these category 7 hotels. Another option to find the category for the hotel would be to use the mobile app. Say you want to stay in San Diego the first weekend of December, you can go ahead and search that. It'll show you the listing of hotels, and you can see the hotel category right here. This might be the easiest way to see the hotel category without having searched through a long list. So using the app is one of my favorite ways to find the hotel category. So knowing this, now let's take this information and apply it so that we can potentially use it so that we can pick nights that require fewer points and pick the right hotels in the right categories so that we can maximize our Hyatt points. So the first strategy is to use the points calendar. For example, the Hyatt-centric Park City. Search a date that you want to stay there. On the results page, you'll see this option for the points calendar. Go ahead and click on that. So let's take, for example, I want to stay Friday night and Saturday night. And for both nights, it's going to be a total of 70,000 Hyatt points. I can shift my travel by one weekend and stay January 13th and January 14th instead, and it will be 55,000 points. So therefore saving me 15,000 Hyatt points by just shifting my travel by one weekend. Something to note though, this doesn't show actual room availability. It just shows you off-peak, standard, and peak dates. I mean, this is useful if you're flexible on your travel dates and you're just kind of searching for the best deal out there. You're still getting the same hotel if you check in on the January 6th versus January 13th. You're using 15,000 points less by traveling the following weekend instead. Another strategy you can use is that based on the categories, you can identify which hotels are category 4 hotels. Category 4 hotels are important because whenever you get a Hyatt credit card, like the World of Hyatt personal Chase card will give you a category 1 through 4 hotel certificate that you can use every single year you have the card. So by knowing the category 4 hotels, you can pick and choose which category 4 hotel you want to use your certificate for. And ideally, you want to use that certificate for peak nights because those require the most amount of points. So you can actually use your Hyatt category 4 certificate for off-peak, standard, and peak dates. And the third and final strategy is to just transfer points over to Hyatt. And so there's only 2 points programs that allow transfers over to Hyatt, and that is Chase Ultra Reward points and Bilt Reward points. That's the 2 options to earn Hyatt points without having to stay at Hyatt hotels or getting the Hyatt credit card. So that's 3 strategies on how you can use Hyatt categories and the Hyatt award chart in order to maximize your Hyatt points or maximize your Chase or Bilt Reward points so that you can get some pretty awesome Hyatt stays. And if you want to apply for any of these cards, my referral links are down in the description down below, and it helps support the channel. And as always, comment below if you have any questions, and if you like miles and points tips like this, remember to hit the like and subscribe button.